Hello. This is so weird. I don't have anything on my head. My hair is growing. And I've got my glasses resized again. I'm maybe thinking that I'm going to have to get them resized again. So I find a lot of people seem to tune in into my videos instead of my live streams, and I can't really wrap my head around it. I spent about over 4 hours today on Twitch. Stare at myself going like, hello, hi, hello. And yeah, no one came on, and I should probably delete my Twitch account because no one really comes on, and even if I were to attempt to do gaming streams, no one would come on. And yeah, it really aggravates and upsets me in so many different ways. And it's like I have followers, and then here I've had more followers, but in the span of almost 17 years that I've been doing this, it's not a lot. Yeah, just a little over 400 people in the span of 17 years is not saying too much. And I'm officially done Gladstones. I'm not doing it anymore. I showed my face there in May, and I spent about half a year not doing it. And my reasons are that I've been doing it for over a year and a half. Some people can play once or twice, 3 times, 2 times, and then they get booked. They get a book show. They get sponsored. They get Mike Clark to actually book them in. And I went up to him and I said, I've been here. I'm like, what is it? Like, how is this gonna work out? Like, I've been doing this for a while, for some time, and you haven't done anything. You haven't booked me or anything. He says that I'm not good enough. We didn't say not good enough. I'm not ready. He didn't actually say that. I'm not good enough, but that's what I feel. But he says I'm not ready. He says it's a confidence thing. So, I know my confidence is pretty high up there when I do my vocal covers, and I do them outside when the weather holds up. So, and I've had really showcase what I can do there, and people like me. But it seems like the guy that hosted, Mike Clark, he doesn't really think that I'm ready to and I want to go beyond. I want to go beyond the whole open mic thing. I want to be there like Ozzy Osbourne, like that, and you see an arena of people. And I even made an ad, and I know it's not going to go anywhere and do anything, but I made an ad that I'm a singer and a guitar player and want to form a band. Like, that's people don't operate like they do. And I've just seen a video about that, this guy talking about people aren't the way, they don't work the way that they do before. Everyone's so attached to their phones, and not only just their phones, but social media is a killer. I'm back on Facebook. I call it Facebook, but that's taken so much away from me in my life. I remember October 2018, they took away a lot of my memorabilia and photos and videos. And a lot of this is without any reason and whatnot. So, yeah, but I'm just like the song "Hated" by Beartooth. I'm not going to be anybody's little scapegoat anymore. I'm not the person to blame and take a shot at. But then again, there's always an invisible little thing here. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely do feel invisible for the most part when I'm giving it my all and sounding the best that I can be. and then there's no one to really kind of help me out with all this kind of thing. So yeah, I forget doing the whole thing. It gets redundant doing it all the time. And I thought my last time was going to do I'm Blue and, just end it like that. If there's someone that you think is really nice to you, lets you play at open mic, and then there's a really crazy thing that they do there. But it happens when there's musicians and open mics that you have a drink on the house, but I get a ticket and I just give it because I have a soda because I don't drink alcohol anymore. I mean, I've tried a handful of drinks this year, and I'm like, no, I just take my time, one drink, and I take 3 hours to consume it. It's kind of weird not having anything on my head, but I'm trying. You don't see Timothy Chalamet have anything on his head for the most part. But for me, it's a confidence thing when people critique you so much and they ostracize you and they don't make you, they just kind of do these kind of weird mannerisms, or they kind of play these kind of little psychological things that they try and manifest. And I can't really wrap my head around it, like, oh, hey. And then they kind of look at you and be like, oh, he's a, you know what, he's a, and I don't want to be around that sort of atmosphere and that environment where that kind of happens. And then people, get into their whole thing or whatever. But with these glasses, they are prescription, and I haven't been wearing them, and I got them just a year ago, and I probably worn them a few times, but it's just because it's, well, she adjusted them. There's a woman there that adjusted them, and I put them on, and I'm sort of not used to it, but I don't want to have to keep doing this. And even if you have, I'm trying to, it's kind of hard to look at the camera most of the time, but even if you have those metal pads, plastic pads, you'll have to do that too. And I've had them bend and crack and break. It's been kind of muggy. And I've been out all the time with my scooter. And one person on my stream said, like, do you socialize? Do you get out? You need to try to get out more. But financially, it's pretty hard, and I just do what I can. I'm also very slowly, I've been pushed by some sort of person who's trying to advocate for me, and it's been really hard to songwrite, and I'm trying to songwrite for a really good friend of mine who I loved and still have a lot of feelings for, and yeah, and his name's Tanner, and it's so really hard to do all these kind of things. I mean, I've been writing in. I've got three different kind of books that I have, kind of notebooks, and one of them is my Spider-Man collector's Empire State book that I got with a loot crate, or yeah, I think it was kind of a loot crate collector's sort of thing with Spider-Man, Insomniac's, the PlayStation 4 game, the first one. And yeah, so I wrote more than I did in the last month. But maybe I'll still continue, and I'm not, I've been told to not write, to like make a song or complete a song, but just write to like him privately, or just, write like a diary, or write a letter to him. And that's what I've been kind of doing. I'm at the first, like barely a paragraph in, like it wasn't even that long. It was like line, and then right here. And there's a thing that I wrote down, and some of it, it's not, like there's no cold heartedness when it comes to me, but there, like I don't want to get much into stuff about what I'm saying, how I don't want to, I'm pretty protective about what I'm working on now, because I haven't written in so long, in like over 9 years. But there was a part that I just started, and I got to that point of writing this sort of end in sentence thing. I couldn't do anything anymore after just writing just 4 or 5 lines, and it made me so emotional that I had to put the book away and my guitar down and put it back in its case, and I was just I was crying a lot. And what I'm kind of using for inspiration, it's hard for me, like I was under the weather just around Tanner's birthday. This is June 22nd, and my birthday's coming up in 17 days. I'll be 30. Yeah, July 22nd. So when I had that post-nasal drip around his birthday, was not doing well. And then days after that, I didn't get my post-nasal drip spray, kind of this new thing. It has salt water. It has salt water and aloe vera. And I got that at a drugstore, and for like $20, and I think it really has been helping me out. I mean, I have a little bit of mucus and whatever, but I think I was sick with maybe a combination of hay fever, because I know I have hay fever. So I'm trying not to listen. I do listen to heavy music, but with him, I listen to, like, all the time. Maybe it's probably my most listened to song this year is any kind of version of Ludovico Einaudi, however you say his name, the song Experience. And that song, Slow Down, makes me think of Tanner in just moments before, like, he died. And I didn't get to find out until 4 months after the fact. And August is coming up pretty soon, and he decided not to be here anymore, August 12th. So I'm not going to get too carried away, but I hope that I have something by early August so I can have something released on maybe the anniversary of that. And there is a reminder on my email with the obituary that I wrote, and I knew when his birthday was. but I wasn't doing too well. I just stayed inside, I think, pretty much the entire day. I was not feeling well. I was just so sick for, yeah. And I've kind of gotten through it, but it's like been a week or more, and yeah. I know there's a lot of people who don't really have the same happiness as they used to. And no one ever really does. You can see the exhaustion in everyone's eyes, and yeah, yeah. But there's some other instrumentals that could be turned into something. I know there's a heavy kind of thing that kind of sounds like what I've been listening to for the last 15 years, and what I thought was my favorite band, 3 Days Grace. So there might have something like that might come out. Like, I don't try to sound like it, and that's what it might be. But the writer's block is just so I'm having a really tough time thinking here. It's just so everywhere in my brain. So, yeah, these are prescription, if I haven't said, but I just don't wear them a heck of a whole lot. I can only imagine what I'm going to feel like on the day that he chose to just not be here anymore. And I thought there was a friend of mine named Kieran who only made it to, well, he was a month shy of turning 17, and that was the start of 2014. And I remember saying, oh yeah, maybe I'll write a song about him. Well, it's been like 11 years now, and there's been nothing. So it could take a long time for me to actually find something. I don't want to rush through it, but I've been writing a ton about him, various different ways, like even when me and him weren't talking, I would kind of write about, like, this cute guy that I met on PLF, and we talked about seeing each other and never really met face to face, but just had this kind of connection with video chats and on the phone call. And I know my great uncle killed himself about 3 years ago in April of 2022, and I've outlived some of my friends a little bit. There's Tina and Kieran. And Jacob wasn't really a friend because he would kind of antagonize and bully me a little bit in middle school, and then he kind of followed with me in high school really early until he moved out of that high school, or moved away from town. But I think for me and me and Tanner, I think, I felt really close with Tanner. So it's a hard one to really, one day that's all going to be us too. And then someone will be like, oh, well, yeah, maybe I need to do something. It's not something mandatory for me to do because I self-produce on my phone. I sing on my phone. But it just would be nice because it's been so long. I have no helping hand in the matter for the most part. Like, it would be nice if I had a band behind me, then I can, be a singer and play guitar here and there a little bit. I hear people all the time that I'm pretty good at the guitar, and then if I do a song that they don't like or sound out of touch, then they never let me be. But I feel like I've definitely improved, and I know how to sing now. And for a few years or more, at least, I think I'm, developed or whatever, even though whatever all I have to go through mentally and physically, and deal with all the whatnot, aches and pains with everything. But there's always a time for exhaustion, and inspiration. Inspiration is there, but it's just so hard. Like I never knew it to be this hard to write a song ever, and there's a big gap. It's almost a decade since I've written a song. The last song I did was A Place I Call Home. Technically, I had some other things I was trying to write on the spot when I was on a binge. So, when I was living in Canberra River, I was kind of buzzed and whatever, and I was getting mad at Grant, a friend of mine who barely reaches out to me anymore. It's like, well, he can call me, but I can't call him, and I send everybody so much stuff. But he's probably talked to me twice in the last year. And then he lives in Quebec now, so it's quite, I can't really, we don't really hang out like we used to. We kind of we outweighed our differences and wrote A Place I Call Home. I don't know how he thought. I was like, oh yeah, let's kind of do this kind of thing. But for the majority of it, like 75% or more were lyrics from me. But it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Grant, because I had a tough time. I had the chorus riff like da na 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 da na 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 na. I had that on me for 6 months, 6 or 7 months. And I said to Grant, if this ever turns into a song, made this into a song, I want it to be someone who's preached upon, kind of left for dead, and then you find your significant other or your special person, the right kind of special person, like unique, like your person you've waited for all your life, and you're like, well, where were you for all the days that I was alone, all the hard days and days that I was victimized and targeted by maybe law enforcement or a father figure or by your friend, your family, and like take me to a place that I can call home. And it's still pretty relevant with me. I'm still really wanting to be in a place I can call my own. And there's people that kind of want to manipulate and kind of do all these kind of things, and for reasons I don't know why. And I'm going to be 30 in the middle of July, in just 17 days. And I'm kind of tired. I don't need to take it anymore. I'm not a kid, not a child. And everyone deserves to be happy. But everyone's just so onto their phones a lot, and I can be on so many different websites altogether, just like everybody else. And I can be on my phone and look at face from face to face on the bus, or but I try not to. Definitely when I'm commuting. I'm using my phone for music, and yeah. But I know social media is not for me, and I'm on some of them. I'm on some of these things and whatever, and it doesn't make me feel too good. Like, what is this designed for? Honestly. And there's probably something inside of me saying, just cut down with the video games. I've been playing video games since I was 4 years old, 4 or 5. Since Sega Genesis and PlayStation 1. I think those are my first kind of things. And then I played the N64. I didn't own one, but I played one at a couple's house there. But it gets very tiring with me having to do this on my own. Like, I don't know what people were expecting when they placed me here, all the way out here. I don't even fucking know. I don't know. But I love to come up with something if I can. I really would. I'm gonna try. I'm really trying. Then again, I don't want to force something else out that makes me feel like I have a headache. And I never thought I'd be single coming up being 30. And I'm not single by choice. I like to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and it doesn't seem like anything wants that. And relationships are kind of like, no, it's on so many different dating apps, and that's even, there's so many automated spam, and if you make an Instagram account, there'll be like someone from China sending you messages who are not actually human. And say, oh yeah, I like your thing, I'll send you my link. I don't know why I'm always the one who gets all the worst stuff happening, and then all the stuff that's so artificial gets sent over to me. Personally, I think I look better with longer hair. So I thought of cutting it. Like, why are you gonna cut your hair while you're trying to grow it out? Like, cut your hair short while you grow it out. I've done that so many times. Just stay with it. Timothy, you don't seem to have many short haircuts a lot of the time. And when I was younger, like, my mom would cut my hair short, and there was very few pictures when I was really young, like a toddler, where my hair was long, and then I was like, oh my god, I like that. I had skater length hair. But I don't skate. But yeah, and it can get like wavy and bedhead and out of control. But personally, I know. And then I go and I look like, no. I mean, that's okay. But at the same time, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make me feel as edgy. So I'm not sure how much more hair growth we're going here for, but definitely the side and maybe just a little bit more. Different way my hair grows, different hairlines. I don't know how to have it. Or how it's growing. Or how it sits. But I don't like having ultra thick hair. Wish it was thinner so I could just, it would be nicer in the summer and things and whatnot. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. I've got nothing much else to really say. But I am surely exhausted, and no matter what I try and take, I barely smoke any weed anymore. I can't afford it. Can't afford anything. Seems like I can only afford one viewer at a time. No one cares. I say it all the time. No one watches. No one cares. No one cares. No one watches. But it's true. It's not up to me. But if you turn on your notifications and actually want to engage with, I've lost some people on here that have subscribed to me. Do it. Because there'll always be someone that would come back on here and will subscribe to me. It doesn't affect me one bit. So, yeah, you can say hello, like how you doing, to someone that you kind of hanged out with for a little bit and knew through high school, and then you ask them, how are you doing? And they just end up blocking you. What's with the attitude? What's with that? What was that for? People are triggered a lot in these times, and yeah, you can't even talk to someone without, I'm dialing 911. You can't talk to me. You can't talk to me. What was that for? Yeah, I've even tried to look and put my name at a place and online and look for a room to rent, and then there's one woman that was doing that. Oh, just because they don't understand someone that lives on, assistance, and they need help. So, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But something's gonna have to come out of me. I don't know. I'm seeing not just 3 Days Grace. I'm seeing so many other bands and artists to do their own thing. But with me, I always want to self-produce. Like, I don't want to go to a record label, publisher, record deal, and be like, oh, you're obligated to do this. I'm free to do whatever. And I go through DistroKid, and I re-recorded my song "Lose You" as well. I wrote that fall of 2015 by myself, and maybe it's gonna happen like I did "Lose You," "Awkward Silence," and my song "Crutch." Where I listen to the song, that like the rough sort of thing, where I think that, oh, I have kind of like a song structure here, and there's probably about maybe three or four. I sometimes come up with stuff on my acoustic, and I came up with a really good, 3 and a half minute heavy track on my new electric, and I haven't been listening to it a lot, but you know, I'm like, wow, I actually come up with it. I came up with that by accident. So I don't know. For the most part, I'm trying to figure out how to write about Tanner so I can. There's something inside of me that feels like the pressure's not going to come off unless I write a song for him, sing a song for him, have a song about him. Tanner really loved music, and I think his music, he was more like, he had more variety of music than me. I have variety or whatever, and there's heavy metal, there's alternative metal, but I like a lot of the new stuff, and yeah, I like the old as well too. But then he would, go to raves or whatever, and kind of this kind of trap, hip hop, dubstep, and I can only take that to a certain degree and a certain portion of that. Um, I don't. I like Arrested Youth. Arrested Youth is pretty good. I think his name is Ian. When he did that song, "Your Casket Open," or just a video of him by himself or whatever, it's like, oh. he he commented, or he replied to a comment that I said. I'm like, wow, there's a thing from Arrested Youth. I'm like, fuck, that's cool. I think he's pretty nice. I like pretty much like everything that Arrested Youth does. What Ian does. So if you've ever heard his stuff, like, yeah, Parallel Lines, I was listening today too. When I'm on my when I'm on my scooter, I have my speakers with me, both my Motion 300 or my Select 4 Go, and I just crank it to whatever I feel like, and then I don't care if I have people like what is this guy playing? Why is this guy playing this so loud? But then, just kind of in that mood, and in that mind of like, fuck everything, I'm gonna blast this thing while I do this, and then I'm not gonna put anything in my ears because it's not very good. But yeah, that's what they're there for. Like, if you're not gonna do that, where are you gonna use it? So I tend to just sometimes put it in my backpack with one or two of them, or sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, well, I'm carrying other things, so I'm not gonna carry these big 30-watt speakers and combine them and make 60 watts. Maybe I'll just have the Force Let Go, which is more portable and rainproof when I need it. And at times when I'm on the bus, or when I'm being transported, then I do have my earbuds as well. They're pretty good. My white Space A40s, yeah. Yeah, Leave My Casket Open by Arrested Youth is really good. Keep it up on, was it The Bright Side? It's so weird having these glasses on. I'm gonna have to wear them every once in a while to adjust to. I think they're okay. I mean, if they get resized anymore, then it's gonna just really hurt the sides of my head. Like right, that little part here behind the ear. I don't think it's too tight. But if I say like, oh, it needs to be adjusted, maybe they're gonna be a lot tighter. I mean, the plastic, they don't have that pad, and they're the only glasses, the only pair that I have. I can get them off clearly.ca, but I haven't done that yet. So I think maybe like have an early night tonight, something. Something. I know a lot of people want, or like when I kind of do these kind of things. Some maybe I don't get a lot of, I don't look at a lot of, feedback and comments about anything. And it's certainly very quiet on my channel. And I don't know why. I don't ask for it. I don't ask to be single either. It's not by choice. If anything, I'd like to have somebody, man or woman, that's up in my preference near me in my bed. So, and, if I had it my way, I'd have, my own rock band of my dreams. But nobody wants that. Just like relationship, nobody wants that either. And I don't really understand it. So, yeah, it's a little devastating. Um, I don't know what else to do other than what I'm doing, because there's not much else I can do. If you know what I mean. But it's hard to say. If something comes, it comes. As far as writing anything new, ideas, it's not a must. But I would really like for something to happen. I don't really get sick of playing A Place I Call Home or any of the songs I've written, but it surprised me to see on Spotify the top song the people they think. No one really follows me on anywhere, but that Lose You is my top song. I thought A Place I Call Home was. I still think A Place I Call Home. I haven't written anything. I don't really write anything to be catchy. This happens to be. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for right now. I'm almost maxed out on the capacity of how much video I can do right now at the moment on my phone. I thought my storage was very minimal. I'm trying not to be a nervous Nelly, but I am, and I have anxiety and depression, and you name it. And I've gone through a lot, still continue to, and people just don't let me excel and be the person that I need to be. They don't let me be who. It's always been like this. So, but 30s hit me pretty hard, and I'm like, wow, what the fuck? I don't really look like I'm turning 30. What's happening? When I'm on my scooter and blasting my music and all that stuff, and when it's happening, it almost makes me feel like I'm like 18 again or whatever, back in high school. So, yeah. Then again, I'm like, what the hell am I going to listen to? What the fuck am I going to listen to? Yeah. Anyways, guys, yeah, and I gotta unwind and whatever relaxation is. All right, bye for now.